I think we've all been very clear on the fact that we don't want another season of The Acolyte. You know who still does, though? Leslye Headland. Hello, I'm Marvin, and I'm the Movie Monster. It seems as though even though The Acolyte is over and done with, we still haven't been able to get rid of Leslye Headland from our lives. I swear, she's doing more interviews now than she was while the show was airing. The Acolyte was the most abysmal failure in the history of Star Wars. I'd be hard-pressed to find a greater fall from grace in the history of Hollywood, honestly. From the Mandalorian Season 2 finale to the Acolyte finale, Disney lost a whopping 95% of its audience. So, granting this show a second season seems like a no-win scenario for Lucasfilm, but Leslye Headland seems hell-bent on returning to our galaxy far, far away, and she's begging for your help to make it happen. Let's find out more on Tooneytown TV. All right, we got to talk about the Acolyte again. I'm joined by my good friend Spencer Baculi, the editor-in-chief of Bounding Into Comics, also the czar of the Studio Kabuto over there on YouTube, and or maybe I should say emperor since it's weeb stuff, but.
Thank you for respecting my adopted culture.
I very much did. It's my adopted culture too, so I very much
that is true,
it.
Actually.
So you outweeb me, but anyway,
it's neck and neck. But yes, let's get into
right.
Look at us putting off talking about something awful to talk about something we love.
I know. So now we talked in another video recently about the fact that a lot of times these studios will greenlight 2 seasons of something like right at the start. Like we saw it with Velma, we probably saw it with the Halo series that got canceled. Yeah. But it appears as though the Acolyte is not doing that because there is no season 2 announced. Now she can Leslye Headland can hem and haw all she wants about the fact that I didn't really think about a second season. She ended this finale setting up for a second season. I'm sorry. The Plagueis drop, the Yoda drop, all of it was begging for a second season. And I think she is just so in the public eye right now for the first time in her life. And she is addicted to the attention now. And she just wants it. So,
to your point, Marvin, before we get into it, just to note, for you and our readers, check out how vocal Leslye Headland has been during this entire show's run. Every week we get really in-depth interviews, not just tell me about this, right? It's let's get into everything. She is constantly out there saying, you guys don't get what's happening. Let me tell you what's happening. This is what it really means.
The mark of a wonderful writer having to explain what she's done. By the way, does it seem to me like she's everywhere this week? Like she's doing more. She's doing more press now that the show is over than she did before it started.
Oh my gosh. I'm over here writing for Bounding Into Comics, and I see one article, and I go, okay, cool, I've covered that. I go get lunch or something. I come back, I see somebody talking about Leslye Headland said this, and I go, where? I just covered it. And lo and behold, 5 minutes ago, Collider, Nerdist, whomever, Gizmodo.
All the outlets that are kind to her, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. All of the outlets who will go, oh my gosh, Osha and May's story was so deep and so impressive.
I totally ship Osha Mir. That's it.
All of these interviews end with that. You can just tell whoever's talking to her is, let's get past the lightsabers and the Plagueis and let's talk about shipping.
Well, her entire fan base is made out of the girls who harassed Adam Driver's wife.
Yeah,
because he wasn't gonna marry Daisy Ridley or something. But let's get into it. We've got an article here from That Park Place and our friend John Trent, the editor-in-chief over there. He says Leslye Headland begs the Acolyte viewers to launch social media campaign for a second season. Right, there she is. The Acolyte showrunner Leslye Headland begged viewers of the show to launch a social media campaign in order to convince Lucasfilm and the Walt Disney Company to greenlight a second season. That should show you right there, we are not getting a second season of this if she's asking people to go to it. So in an interview with Collider, as we said, following the conclusion of the first season finale, Headland was asked by Maggie Lovett, shifting gears, one of the most popular questions that I get to ask you from Twitter was, what do fans need to do to ensure that we get a season 2? Go to hell.
At this point. Also, just notice how it's what do the fans need to do? It's whoa. We're not responsible for this, or not us because we didn't watch it, but viewers are not responsible for your show succeeding. You guys had the chance. You guys messed it up.
Well, and also, Spencer, what we're seeing here is like this is obviously not something that Maggie Lovett is asking, off the top of her head. Leslye clearly was like, no, ask me about this because I really want my second season. So she replied, truly any online support and love you can send the show. It's a little tricky because of the way the internet works, but if you enjoyed the show and you want to see more of this story and support that you can give the show on social media platforms would be super helpful. And then, she can't help but attack. Sending love to the cast, too. You've seen what Hayden Christensen went through. He's getting the love now, but give the love now if you've enjoyed the performances because all of her actors are just being dragged, The only one that isn't is Lee Jong-jae, who played Jedi Master Squid Games, was the one character on the show people liked until they turned him into a creep. But like we're seeing things like, Jedi Master Superfan, the guy that was like, there's no good and evil in Star Wars, and Anakin blew up the Death Star. Mama, yes, the one that's like, Star Wars is so patriarchal. We need female leaders.
Now we need women in Star Wars. I'm so excited. My name's Jodie Turner-Smith. Women have never had a role in Star Wars.
Except for every leader except for Yoda and Palpatine has been a woman. Like Mothma, Leia, Padme, everyone.
If we remember from a couple months ago when George Lucas won, I think it was like a Palme d'Or at the Venice Film Festival or some big film festival, and he was giving a talk in honor of it, and the panel host was like, so what do you say to the accusations that Star Wars is, not a place for women, or it wasn't under your care or whatever? And he went, what are you talking about? Princess Leia was the leader. Like that, What are you talking about? She was
Queen Amidala.
She was the smartest one. Yeah, and Queen Amidala. And it's it's true, but it's revisionism.
The best quote from that, Spencer, the best quote from that was when he was like, you can't just put a woman in pants and call her a hero.
Which is
at
that moment, the entire last 10 years of Hollywood just got swept out from underneath.
Completely. All right, moving on in this article here. She says, even if you were kind of like whatever on the show, if you enjoyed the performances, get on their social media. Let them know that you love them and that you support them. Maybe the writers too. Like if you really like the writing, let the writers know. Right? So then she said, encourage your friends to watch the show. A lot of my work has been word of mouth. No, it has not, Leslye. It hasn't. Disney launched a massive ad campaign behind this. It's not word of mouth. We were talking about review bombing. So just telling people don't pay attention to the IMDb score. Yeah, don't pay attention to the things you see in front of your eyes.
Favorite. That right there is my favorite minute or my moment from this entire interview because it's right there, bald-faced. Don't look at it. Don't look at anything. And you know what? Even if you were going into it neutral, and let's say you were somebody who, your friend recommended it to you and the way they sold it, it sounded great. And you go, all right, maybe I'll check it out. You go on IMDb, you see the bad reviews, and maybe you don't necessarily believe them, but you go, what's going on here? There's something clearly being discussed, and I should get informed on this. But if you're just saying, don't look at any of that, just trust me, I think that tells you everything you need to know.
Absolutely. So what we're seeing here, a desperate woman who is desperate to hold on to the bit of fame that she has clawed through her group therapy session. I think I said in another video, she should have been putting some hippie therapist kids through college in Burbank somewhere. But instead, she's taken $180 million of Disney's money and just holding her own group therapy session of her issues with her father, her issues with her sister, her issues with male genitalia
with men and Star Wars fans and the fandom. It is 100%.
She called fatherhood sexist.
She's
benign sexism, she said.
And notice how that is what she said in the last interview after the last episode came out, or the season finale.
Yeah.
She clearly, she's been holding on to that, and she went, oh, maybe I'll strategize and not front load everything with that. And now that it's done, now I'll drop it out there. To me, that almost feels like, okay, I didn't get the viewers by being quiet about my issues, so now I'm going to go try and get the viewers by being vocal about my issues.
Well, but she was vocal, and everyone hated that. And then, you know, going into it, she was like, "Oh, this show's gonna be so queer coded because I'm a queer woman, and like Star Wars saved
That's
my
right. I
life."
forgot about that.
And then, you know, when the show was getting the backlash that it got, all of a sudden she was like, "Lesbians? What lesbians? Oh, there's no lesbians
What are you talking
here.
about? I've never said anything
Yeah,
about that.
I didn't make queer content." And now that it's over, and she realizes the only people that liked the show are the yes crowd. And now
Right.
she's just like full on like, fathers are sexist and lightsabers are wieners, and yeah, how about the moist cave from the Last
The
Jedi
moist
that Rey had
cave.
the moist cave. That was my, oh my god. We did a whole Kevin Apollo and I did a whole video on that. We were just both like,
I watched it. Yeah.
yeah. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my gosh. And we
Right.
apologize to our readers because I know a lot of people don't like the word moist, but I'm gonna say it one more time.
Yes.
Moist, moist, moist.
Yeah. Sending it to our viewers here. What do you guys think? Do you think anyone is going to actually pick up on this other than like the bots that Master the TDS has been spotlighting so much? I mean, I'm sure they're all doing hashtags for it.
I don't even know if they exist because Marvin, I don't know if you've seen the latest update, but the Nielsen ratings, the Acolyte is completely gone. It is no longer
been gone
on
for weeks. It's been gone since like episode 6, I think.
No. We're getting the retro, like, so what Nielsen does is when they get their ratings while the show is airing, and then they'll do what they need, send it out to the people who pay for their services, and then about a month or so later, they'll release the data for whatever given week. So if it's the week of June 1st, they'll release that data on July 1st. So we've been recently getting we've hit the spot where we've started getting Acolyte viewing data from Nielsen, who are the big trusted name in television ratings. The first week, the Acolyte placed, I believe, 7th out of 10 on the top 10 streaming original series by watch minutes. The second week, with episode 3, that it actually went up to 6. Presumably people were like, oh, let me go catch the other 2 episodes. Let's see what everybody's talking about, yada, yada. We just got the chart for the 4th episode that week, completely gone. And I did the calculations, and you can check out this in a article on Bounding into Comics if you guys want to go check it out. Also check out John's article here on That Park Place for this context. But crunching the numbers, it turns out if you break down all the watch minutes by averages, all that fun stuff, roughly, being completely generous and taking the number of watch minutes from the lowest, like number 10 ranked show that week, the Acolyte only pulled in roughly 1.9 million viewers across all 4 of its episodes. 1.9 million across a week, Marvin. For comparison, all those awful, Doctor Who, we all followed that. We all saw how terribly that did. Its worst performing episode still managed to pull in like 3,025,000 over a week. That is abysmal for a $180 million Disney Star Wars television show to be pulling in less than 2 million viewers a week. And again, that's on 4 episodes. Who knows how many actually only watched that 4th one? It's a disaster from top to bottom. They can't deny it. There is no season 2 coming for this show.
Oh, absolutely not. All right, folks. So what do you guys think? Sound off in the comments. Let us know. Desperation never looks good on anyone, and Leslye Headland is already such a vile being that it just makes her odious stink that much worse. Do I think the Acolyte should get another season? Hell no! Do I think it will? I think that depends on what happens between now and October. That's when Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm contract is up, and I seriously doubt she's going to be earmarking another $200 million project if she's on her way out the door. So I guess we'll have to see. If Kennedy finally gets let go, I think we've seen the last of this nightmare. A monster can only dream. Thanks for checking out the video today. I hope you'll join us Thursday nights at 8 p.m. for Tooney Talk TV, a live stream pop culture podcast. It's a great way to make your voice heard as part of the Tooneytown community. And please subscribe to our pro wrestling channel, Tooneytown Wrestling, as well as that Game Place, That Park Place gaming channel, where I'm a regular host. If you liked what you saw here, please like, share, and subscribe. Click the bell icon to get notified of new videos as they drop. From all of us here at the Tooneytown channels, I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!